All right, let's talk about some of the pros and cons of living in a condo in the Tampa area. Here we go. I'm Sam, and thanks for coming by the Living in Tampa channel, where we make videos for you about what it's like to live and move to Tampa. If that's something you want to follow along with, don't forget to subscribe. And we're also a team of realtors here in the area, and we'd love to hear from you. If you want to buy, sell, anything real estate related, we want to connect with you. So give us a call, text, email, anytime. All right, condos are a popular housing situation in Florida in general, and especially in a waterfront area like Tampa. We have beaches, we have city, we have all kinds of layers like that. And right now I'm downtown. There's currently so much new condo development happening down in this area. And I want to talk a little bit about these condos. And yeah, these ones down here are super amenity rich, close to the water, have all kinds of beautiful things about them. And then there's other options that are over by the beach, close to the beach, on the beach, all kinds of things in between there as well. But let's go through some of the pros and cons of condos. Pro number one with condo living is just lack of maintenance. So there's just so much you don't have to do. Whether that's exterior maintenance, whether that's thinking about the pool, thinking about the amenities, the gym, even parking. Parking often is underneath the building, like all kinds of things like that. You just don't have to think about maintaining those things and systems. The next pro is price. So of course, there are expensive condos, but if it were a single family home in that same situation, it would be significantly more expensive. So you do have an advantage in that regard. The next pro is the amenities. Of course, we talked about you don't have to maintain the amenities, but even just the access to those amenities, whether that's a pool or it's beach access or it's tennis courts, pickleball courts, it's a gym, it's with a sauna, like all those kind of things, condos just tend to have those more. All right, the next pro for living in a condo in the Tampa area is security. Because you are going inside of a building very often, because you're on a premise with more people, it's just a little more secure. You're a little more kind of safe and sound there with all your neighbors, there with all those amenities in a building with a garage, all those kind of things. The next pro is insurance. Of course, with the condo, you still have to have insurance. You're specifically insuring your contents, but then you also are sharing this bigger insurance policy on the building, sometimes with flood coverage, sometimes with additional coverage depending where you are. But since that insurance is so spread out among the other residents, often included in your condo association payment, it's just a little bit cheaper for insurance. All right, now some of the cons of living in a condo in this area. Condo associations are number one. So I used to buy real estate for a big organization and would buy these brownstone buildings in DC, and then I would take over as like the condo association president and update it with the historical society, all those kind of things. So I have been the condo association president many times, and I know how annoying we can be. But the biggest issue with condo associations to me is the price. So we would take over these old historic buildings, and then we would have immediate assessments because the buildings were just not maintained very well. We would need an additional few $1,000s per resident for the next few years to do all these needed updates, needed improvements, whether it's a roof or heat and air, all those kind of things. So the condo association not only has monthly payments, and some of those can be very high, and the ones that are very high typically include a lot of different things. But then the next con is the condo association financials. This is just something you have to think about, because the condo association might not have been on top of this kind of maintenance, and then that's going to affect you with these sudden assessments where you just have to pay extra cash for these kind of improvements that you didn't expect. The third con is restrictions. Of course, these buildings have restrictions. Most neighborhoods do. But these are going to be a little bit more restrictive, whether that's you can't park your work truck there, or you can't park a boat in the garage, like those kind of things. They're just going to be a little bit more restrictive, and that's just something you have to think about. In DC, when I was helping to renovate those condos, it was even just like the paint colors. We had to have very specific paint colors, and this was a historical building, so a little bit different, but those kind of things just happen over and over again. It's a very restrictive kind of housing environment. Okay, next on the cons list is the appreciation. So when you go to resell this property, typically condos just don't appreciate quite as fast as single family homes. Now, we've had a pretty big run up in this market here in the Tampa area, where we had a big shortage in condo inventory that was on the market. As that's catching back up, we're seeing just kind of the typical trailing appreciation behind single family homes, always leading the way. So that's just something you have to think about. If you're used to living in a single family home and then you're moving into this condo and you're thinking it's going to appreciate the same way, it's really not. Now, waterfront, downtown, those kind of areas, they're a little more dependent on like the economy, the demand, like all those kind of things are going to follow some of the trends, but the typical condo is just going to appreciate slower than a single family home. Okay, and the last con for living in a condo in the Tampa area is the people. Now, maybe you want that community, that sense of neighbors, but you can't really escape it. So you have these people as neighbors, as co-owners of the building, as people you have to deal with in the association meetings. All those kind of things come with it. So if you really want to keep to yourself, if you want to have some of that freedom in that setting, a condo is not really the place to have that. If you're interested in buying a condo in the area, we want to hear from you. If that's downtown, if that's on the water, if that's in some little retirement community, we want to hear from you and we want to help you find that property. Call, text, or email us anytime. We can hop on a Zoom call or a phone call and really process what it is you're looking for and how we can help. Thanks for coming by.